a rabbit hole somewhere. But if not, here, good evening. Welcome back. If you were with us earlier today trading, well, the market was down a lot. And I was just discussing before I started this video too, the news out there that's starting to, they're starting to beat the drums on this China virus again, and what happens if the worst case scenarios play out again. China goes into shutdown. That would actually ambush the markets, because I don't think the markets were thinking about anything like this. You wonder if today's action today and the way these stocks sold off had a pretty steep, feel to it. And I almost felt like it was news based. All right, and we sold off and we stayed under the 20, and it was pretty severe sell off all day long. So again, the question came in today, and I think it's a good place to start, because we're going to be talking about the RockBot here, and the RockBot, I want to bring it up on the screen right now. It's actually active in a trade right now. So I have it over on the main screen here. I want to bring it up here. And this is called the the 1 minute long short quad rotation. It means I have 3 scripts running here: a long, a short divergence, and a quad rotation. And that's what's going to identify on the charts. It's a long process of how I determined, to program this, and the learning process of learning the Ninja script and getting some help with it with a good friend of mine who we worked on it, for weeks and weeks, just trying to learn the language and stuff, and getting, I have so many different scripts that I've been testing and stuff, and it's funny because some of them work really great at certain times, but this has been I would not change this. It works great, and what this is supposed to do for us is, give us that edge. Today I found myself getting in on I got in at the end of the day, and I was doing fine. The market was selling off. I wasn't really trading the futures, but at the end of the day, I felt like, wow, I want to make something happen here, right? So we just kept on banging up against this little area of resistance, or wherever it was over here. I don't even know where it was. I said, all right, I'm going to go long. We're going to go through it. Not even looking at the stochastics, where the stochastics were overbought at the time. So, just making a pure guess like that was so, it's against what I teach. It's so much easier to understand the basic concept of momentum in trading. And when you have just clear signals like this, why would you go against them? And sometimes you go against it because you're thinking that you know more than what's showing up. And maybe you do. Maybe there's something out there that's telling you. And sometimes you can, gauge strength, momentum just by being in the market enough and seeing and feeling it. I totally believe in that. But, the easy money is here, taking it off there, not hoping or guessing or jumping in here. It's always easier to get in when it's oversold and pushing back up than going there. So a simple mistake I made today was just not paying attention to that simple rule. So the bots here are going to help us, maintain that rule, at least give us an edge when it's happening. I always told the people the story about why I wanted the bots, because I believed in the divergence so much, especially on that 5-minute divergence. I believed in it so much that I wanted to start trading at night. And I said, well, we started working on this to put on my laptop next to me and then alert me when there was a divergence. It was the first alert, just like the quad rotation was, just an alert. And then I set up the buy and, the trailing stops and stuff. All those parameters give you a little, gives you a strategy, at least a little strategy based on the divergence. You want to have a bigger stop, a trailing stop, a tight stop. Targets are defined. You can define all that. That's great. That's what this is doing. This is a good tool. So the big question I get all the time is there a track record for this? What's the success rate? And it really, and again, this is an indicator just like everything else. It's not artificial intelligence. It isn't, but it works really good. It's a tool. Gives us the heads up on the possible divergences or change in momentum. And then for us as traders, this is where we have to define the parameters. And when I talk about the parameters, here's your script, right? I'm just going to disable it. Well, it's in a trade right now, but I'll disable it so you can see it. My throat is so tired at this time in the day. I apologize. I'm very scratchy. All right, so I'm going to apply that, and then you're going to see that these are the parameters. And the parameters is, the formula is there. The formula is there. We know how the divergence is set up. We're looking for, the stochastic rotation higher than the price going lower, the comparison of those, and everything setting up, and that's going to be the trigger. And then we get to identify how much of a trade, what the trade is going to play out. Where's our first target? Where's our second target? Do you want to take everything off on the first target? You want to go, how many ticks is your target? So these are all open variables that you have to determine on your own of what the market is doing. If the market's in a downtrend, and you feel the downside fresh, but you're still getting these great buy divergences, it's probably, and you're getting hit, you're probably because you have a low profit, target. You're able to get those smaller bounces. Where if you had a bigger, if I kept it at 8 or I kept it at 10, in a choppy market or an up bias market, I would have a bigger one. But if I recognize that the trend is down, the market is down, I'm just looking at it, is it red or green? And it's not going to be that hard to start to see the trend in the market based off the 200 period moving average 50. And if you have that bias on one side or another, you have to adjust your parameters. So when you say what's the track record, it depends on what the day is. If I could be in charge of this every day, and and adjust these each day, versus just keeping a standard 10, 10, 10, 10 and see how it plays out. Now, this is a fantastic tool. I mean, you see the edge you got here, and there will be times when those ranges, like here, this is a very short range. You'll get a divergence long, and then the first profit real fast. I think I had it at 6 ticks. So we got the 6 ticks, and then it came right back down. If your parameters were 4, all these will probably hit you. Even though this was some news that came out. I remember this. And that, again, news is kryptonite to these algorithms or anything. I mean, it is what it is. It's news. It's fear in the market. Things break down. You're probably going to get run over. And that's something you have to also accept and deal with and almost price in, But now with the quad rotation, and again, this is just on the 1 minute time frame. I have the 5 minute here too, and the 5 minute has some really good divergence. And I always say that the 5 minute is the first thing that a newer trader is going to be trading with, because it's much easier to hold on to something that takes a while to work out instead of getting in late. If you have 5 to 7 candles to the upside on potential on a 1 minute scalp on a downtrend, worst case scenario is you get into a divergence, market selling off. You have about 5 to 7 candles to make that trade. You will make that trade. That's like, I have it down like a science to make that trade work for you before things start to get hairy. And you're dealing with the downtrend, so excuse me. Let me have a drink here. Let me get this straightened out here for a second. I'll put that back over here. That's always on the RockBot channel, so that's actually in the lower right hand corner of your dashboard. I try to keep that running 24/7. And then again, this is active right now. It looks like the divergence came in probably, right back here, right at the open. But again, actually it's looking like a little short here, so you could take that off. And like I said, let these things get in there, but manually move it. Say, all right, you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing a divergence to the downside now. I saw that little spike higher right there. I don't know if I can make this bigger for you. See that little candle right here? And that lower, and then we started to roll back over here. So, you know, even though this is the RockBot taking this trade, it's not reading it like I'm reading it. If I was reading it, I would say, you know, I would just take it off right here. And I think I could just close that out. There, so I just closed it out. And then I go back to for $33. Then I go back to this and I restart the script on. I'll restart it over again. With the 5 minute here, 5 minute looks like it's overbought, you know. So this is a pretty nice candle starting off. This is the 5 minute. This is the 1 minute. See, it takes a few candles to make one of these candles. But the 5 minute here is kind of rolling over, which is, again, this is where you probably want to be in your shorts and not in your longs. I'm going to move this over here.
Order submitted.
Oh, what the hell was that? Did I have a thing on? I don't know. All right, so we're going to look at the parameters on this. So we should actually now start to go back. I'll just show you the parameters on this, but let's start through the process of uploading that and how to set it up. Shoot, I just lost that. All right, so right now this is on the what is that? The short. This might be the short. Oh, this is a short. This is actually the short parameters. I have it set at 8 ticks for the profit. 24, kind of giving it some room to run, and the stop is 10. The stop loss is 12 ticks. .3 points. Then you just adjust it. If you have your account, you could just put it on your account. But that's probably the most important part right here. We'll go over these a little bit more in detail in a second here. I just want to kind of get going on these. So we're going to just okay with that. Well, actually, let's go over the buy signal. Yeah, I have 6 ticks for first profit. Then I have 14, and normally I'm just letting that run in case there's a big pop. That's and this has been working really good. And then you can back test this. I haven't back tested this in a while because the back testing here kind of gives you a false. Again, you're using your same parameters in a different market. You're not dealing with news. You're not stepping outside of the news. Most things like news, open and close, the whippiness. If you have a very tight stop or a tight profit, you're going to get whipped around a lot. It could go either way without technically breaking. It just doesn't work as well. So you know when to use it. good markets, choppy markets, quiet, even quiet markets. But anything that's really spooked by news, running on news, you could, things are going to get stretched. You have to be careful about that. And that's always recommend. I always said, all right, let it pick the trades. You decide how the market conditions are. Sometimes you also want to see what the other time frames are doing. I like to always say, if there's a 1 minute, how's the 5 minute looking? I'll bring that up. I kind of butchered this recording, like taping, and I'm not taping. All right, so let's take a look here again. Now, you could get the template, download the template that's on the bot channel, and you install the template. That's pretty easy to do. You just have to follow the directions and lay it. You have to put it in a certain folder on your machine. But then when it opens up, you'll give you this same template, all the moving averages and all the stochastics. So that's on the site too, where you got the code. Now, let's start from the beginning here. Let's see here. I'm gonna now again. This is not something I do every single day. So sometimes I'm like trying to remember how I got to certain things and stuff. All right, what am I looking at here? All right, so you're going to let's start from the beginning. Let's actually start from the beginning here. So we go to DayTraderRadio.com. We go all the way back to the beginning. That way I could just get into a roll here and things will be perfect. I'll let my voice chill out. All right, so 10-day free trial. Go to members area. Log in. On the lower right-hand corner here, RockBot. Right there, the RockBot. And the RockBot add-on. So the RockBot is the RockBot channel. You bring that up, you actually get to watch the RockBot. You don't even, if you're not, you could shadow it, So you just saw the parameters I'm running on that. That's the 5 minute running right now. It'll mark its trades. Let me get rid of that anyway, so it's not confusing. So we're going back here to the RockBot add-ons. And right up here it'll say RockBot code. This also leads to the page, and you read, there's a lot of videos on how to get started. Basic setup and an introduction, live setup and intro. Set up the super signal, no longer valid. We've combined the super signal. We have our different super signal now. This is no longer. I should take that off there. And then where to load the version. And also there's a lot of information on the tradeometer too, and how that works. And if you're a member, you don't have to. You get all that with the membership anyway, so you don't have to worry about any of the other stuff on there. Go to RockBot code. Go to RockBot directory, and there's the TC2000 directory also. So my TC2000 white trades, those light-colored white background charts, that's my TC2000. That's a template. You can just download it and install on your TC2000. So click on the RockBot, and then I would just, like I said, this RockBot 23 is supposed to have another. Version of the 1 minute buy divergence on it. and it didn't get sent through properly, and then I have an issue now trying to get it up there because of the license in the new computer, which I discussed earlier today. So I'm waiting for them to email me back and send me the my new key that I need. but if we go to the if you download you could download the RockBot version 3, but I would just download the RockBot the 2.23, and inside there just click on that. So downgrades, save the link, and then you're going to import it on your thing. So now wherever that's saved, you save it to downloads or save it to your desktop. Then you're going to go to your NinjaTrader. Right, and in tools right here. Now this is your NinjaTrader, I guess your control panel. It might look a little bit different. This is set on strategies, but maybe yours is set on executions. It might be set on positions. It might be set on log, counts. So I usually have mine on strategies. That's why I'm watching the different strategies. I'm watching this. This is all. Some of these are connected to the RockBot channel. So you're going to go to tools. You're going to go to, or let's see, yes, tools. You're going to go to import. You're going to go to NinjaScript add-on. And then you pray. Oh, there it comes up here. And then you'll see it downloaded on your machine. RockBot 23, I downloaded it a couple times. I'm just making sure I didn't download it. I'm looking for an old version, but I'll look for that after. So what you're going to do is you're just going to click on that and click open, and it's going to upload it to your NinjaTrader. All right, I'm not going to do it again and overwrite my files, but but that's what you want to do. You want to click on the open. It'll maybe say proceed with the whatever it needs to do with the NinjaTrader. You say yes. And then the script will be added to your machine. And when the script is added to your machine, what I like to do, and this is the way I do it, some other people might be doing it a different way. I usually open up a chart. Alright, I'm going to say it's going to be for the ES or MES. I'll put down the MES up here, excuse me. And then I'll say OK, and then it'll set up here. Chart will come up. Now it's because it has some things running in the background. It's superimposing on this chart, but you're going to go up here, and this is where you're. Again, I'm taking it that you're seeing the same thing I am. But you might have a different color template. Maybe it's harder to see. I'm going to where it says strategies. And open up strategies. And the available strategies, you should see quad rotation 23. Was that, or was that, hold on, no, it's quad rotation trail 60, right? I have my old ones on here too, which I have to clean up. So sometimes I get a little confused on which version I'm using, but I think it's the one uploaded is the quad rotation. If someone wants to confirm that with me, trail 60. and trying to set this all up and get this out there. Not, it was kind of like you make all these things, you don't know which ones are gonna. You never get rid of them. Half of them are undone. It just becomes a lot of work. But over time, now everything has been such a, I think, streamlined so much that a lot of these old scripts are no longer, they're outdated. There's better ways of running them, and I've adjusted those to the new scripts. Be it the labeling, like the 1 minute and 5 minute. It was 2 scripts I was running, but it was the same script basically. But I just put different labels on it, so you could run it on a 5 minute chart and it would say 5 minute chart, but that was just overkill. So we combined that. I just want that the formula that goes to the 5 minute is a universal formula that's going to work on all divergences. So it's now just a universal divergence buy signal. You run it on the 1 minute, you run it on the 5 minute. Yeah, the right side is the 5 minute Thunderbird. Here, let's move this over. All right, so I'm just going back here on the chart here. You can see there's a quad rotation. There's one, and looks like the same quad rotations I have on my charts. So I know this is a good strategy. It's actually an indicator. I call it an indicator, meaning that this is just one. Now, if I put the divergences, overlay this with the divergences, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my. And again, I don't think you have this, right? This is the one we had a problem on uploading, but you do have it. You have it. You have this one. It's called. Where is it? All right, it's the Thunderbird 23 buy. All right, that's what I reloaded it up as, and I thought it went up, but it didn't. So if you have the Thunderbird 5 minute buy, it's the same exact thing, except we got rid of the label. I got rid of the labels, so it's no longer 5 minutes. It's universal. So to make it more complicated. Can I make it any more complicated? But in the beginning, I didn't think anybody was gonna, I was gonna have to deal with the lineage and how this all happened. The 23 Thunderbird 23 buy is the one that I was going to try to upload, but you have it. It's just renamed and it's stripped out of the labels, and it was the Thunderbird 5 minute buy. So if you have the Thunderbird 5 minute buy, you want to use that as your exclusive buy divergence on all time frames. All right, so that's it. The Thunderbird sell, I think I consolidated instead of doing the 1 minute and 5 minute, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I just didn't get enough time. But the 1 minute sell is just as good as the 5 minute. They're the same, different labels. If I did put those out there. Let me see. Oh, actually, it says Thunderbird 23 short. I did. I just consolidated. It's under Thunderbird 23 short. Now let's see if that's someone post that. Yes, Alan says that he has that one. So you have the 23. So that's a good short. And then he says he has, what else he has here? The short, the Thunderbird 5 minute buy. We went over that. That's the quintessential one. The 5 minute Thunderbird short. That's been consolidated into the Thunderbird 23 short. So you don't need that. They're both the same. Quad rotation trail 60 is the perfect. That's good on that, and the bear and bull flag is good. So that's good. So the only thing you don't have is the 23 Thunderbird 23. The 23 buy. It's called Thunderbird 23 buy. But you do have it if you have the Thunderbird 5 minute buy for now, until we organize and get everything straightened out. The 5 minute one is running now on this. So let's break this chart down a little bit better. This is pretty good. This is working good. I always like the 5 minute. I always tell people, I said, if you want to start at someone, and you wanted to really just kind of, I mean, this is a pretty good selling too. But as you can see, even if there is a lot of chop, the majority of the time you're in a good level for at least a little extended bounce. I'm trying to get a better. I'm looking to see. That's a nice one. This is a nice one. I'm looking to see if there was any shorts here, because I do have the shorts running. The divergent short here. All right, I just wanted to see if it was running. All right, so here's your 5 minute parameters. So I have the 5 minute Thunderbird 23 buy. It's the same thing. That's the 5 minute. And it's set for 2 points or 8 ticks, first profit. Then 16. So another 2, 4. Two come off then, and then the stop loss. Remember, anything on the buy side you're going to have a stop loss type. You're always going to try to use this signal bar low. You don't want to use the ticks or stop out unless you wanna, unless you have a definite area that you want to put your stop in at. You use ticks and you just calculate that out. But this really is a good divergence method, and it puts that stop at the low of the divergence. Nothing else you have to really worry about it. I don't worry about anything else here. Signal bar low. I wonder where I put this one. But the majority of the time, when you start to see a nice, this would have been great to see that quad. But look at this. Nice move up, nice move down, buy signal, buy signal, buy signal. Each one of these dips here were a buy signal and took profit. That's what you love. Let this thing here just go to work. Strong trending markets, again, that's where it comes into understanding, is there news out there? This is at 9:30. This is that chop at 9:30, even though it was pretty close to calling the bottom. It's still very, very choppy. Work is great midday. Now let's go over. Let's take a look at another script here. Let's just remove these. Let me see. This is my 1 minute. Let me turn them off. Let me see if I can turn that one off. Yeah. I'm going to keep them on there, but I'm going to turn these off for a second. And we're going to upload a bull flag here. And here's the bull flag. And this was one of the first scripts I wrote. So I didn't have I just didn't, I didn't stretch it too far. I have 2 profit areas and a trailing stop, and it's set at 3 contracts. But again, everything else is going to be the same here. But the only thing is different is that you have to put your stop in here. So stop loss tick on this, keep it close to 2 points, 8 ticks maybe, not even. Now this is based off of the. If I could bring that over to the Super Signal 5. This is based off of the. Sorry about that. Got the quad rotation, the bull flag, the 2020 bull flag. Lost my train of thought. So the 2020 bull flag is an HPS setup, which requires 2 things to happen, maybe even 3. One is the trend. There has to be a strong trend in the market. There has to be a pullback, a flag forming, and we have to see a fast rotation on the 9-3, and the 60-10 has to be above 80, preferably 85. If it holds above that 80 to 85 level as we get oversold, and the price holds above the 20-period moving average, that sets us up for a bull flag, and that's a high probability trend. It's a nice pullback, but you're seeing the strength in the trend by watching that 60. That 60 is pinned, and this is not an example of it. This is not an example of it. I want to find you one. We actually just ran one. That was one here, but it didn't work out. But it was the pullback. We got that, and this was pointed down. Now I could adjust this again. And I think we can make this almost perfect. And that just shows it. We are holding above the 80 level here. Right at this point, we're probably right at 80. Price probably just crossed. Was holding above the 20. And this was under 20. All right. So we did technically have a bull flag there. Moved up just a little and then dropped off. That's a tough one. That was 6 o'clock in the morning. And again, this is probably just one that you want to run. I wouldn't put too much into this one. This was, it works great when there's a strong trend, and if you feel that there's a good trending market, this is a good one to run. All right. If it's choppy, it eventually will trigger, but it'll be too choppy. Again, we're looking for the 60 period to be embedded up here as this rotates, and maybe every so often there might be happen, but it's not something that you're seeing here. Now the bear flag would be the opposite of this. The same, or the move down, the move up to the 20, and then the push back down. I don't see any of that anywhere. I don't have the short side running here. Wow. So again, you're not even seeing any uptrends, so you're not seeing any bull flags. There was one. All right, so here you have the pullback. The fast rotation. This is holding above now. Now I think I could adjust this, and what we'll do is we'll have a slope on this. That this indicate this stochastic 60-10 will have to be moving up slightly for this to trigger. Maybe just it has to be greater than the previous candle. That might save us on some crap. But anyway, it just took off from here anyway, so it didn't really matter. It did show a nice bull flag there. And this would be almost one too. You eventually start to read into those, the pullback here. Well, this is not one, sorry. We're looking for this embedded, the purple to be embedded up here. Embedded is either, this is kind of embedded up here where it's stuck up here for more than 3 periods. But as you can see, no flags here. We had 2. One worked, one didn't work. Uh-oh. Wow. For you. So if we go back here and we run the, let's see here. We could run some of this stuff. Let's see, we could run this. All right, so we have the buy here. Now I can put this to 4, right, and see what it looks like. And you're going to change your total results. Well, most of these will be taken and hit, you know, and I don't mind that. I don't mind being comfortable in a very good divergence signal that maybe it doesn't give you 3 points, but maybe it gives you, 4 ticks to 6 ticks. Maybe it gives you a point every single time. That is worth me looking at. That is an algorithm that's skimming from the top here. I adjusted this by 2 ticks, and now everything that was maybe stopped out before now is actually giving us, and you still got that trailing stop behind you too. So I think, we'll run with this tomorrow, by the way. 4 tick. Even a little pop there. These two, this one did stop out, but the second one here, which I think stopped out before, I can see profits being taken all through here, which is probably pretty busy here. Yeah, you got targets. You hit the target on here. Here, this is the one. That was the bottom here, but again, the candles with the news a little tight on this. Divergence low, we just got tagged. That's a tough one. Then when it got right back into it though, and then ran it to all the way up. So it just got chopped out of here, but the divergence stayed strong here, and then it got back into it, then took off. Like it's AI, man. This one here, divergence long, first profit. Again, it probably could have taken, let it run more, but if you want to keep a tighter profit potential on it in this environment, it seems to work pretty good. But again, news is not a good thing, and this is when we had that news sell-off. So that's the long short. We're going to put that back over on the RockBot channel. That's on the left-hand side. I think we got it all running here too. So if you go to the, there's a couple different templates you could get on the site. Mostly for my, this chart here. All right, this chart here is a TC. If you have TC 2000, and I'm not promoting it, if I could get rid of it, I would. But I'm so dependent on their scans and stuff, I should do it. I should tell them I show your thing all the time on the show. I tried to talk to them once. They couldn't care. Anyway, charting's pretty good. Look at this. This is S&P right now. So that trend line here came into play. Big candle. What if we dive right off of here? This looks pretty steep here. Looks like we could come crashing through this tomorrow. So here we inside the RockBot index here. You saw the one for the TC 2000 was one folder up. RockBot template XML. So what I would do is go to general, download template instructions here. And it says here, please, this is not the RockBot. It's a template including settings and indicators are being shared to the members. Download the file onto your computer. The template is in an area where you downloaded this text file. Okay. After you download, directly move the file into the same location of Documents, Ninja 8 Templates Chart. You can accomplish this with the Windows Explorer, and then you will be able to load the template onto a chart or create a new chart with the template. Please note they would need to have the same indicators installed that you're using on your chart. Add a list of indicators I'm running on so you can. So, where's that list? Indicator list, right there. So these are indicators that I'm running. So again, download it, directly move it, and then move it into Documents, NinjaTrader 8 Template Chart. See if you can remember this. I'll forget it right when I close this window. So what was it? Downloads, Christmas, Ninja. Alright, so where is it? Template instructions. Template, so. So we save it just like that. So where do we go here? So where do we download it to? There's our RockBot template. So I download. So what I want to do is copy that. I'm just going to copy it. Then I want to go to Documents. I think it was NinjaTrader, right? NinjaTrader 8. There was something saying charts or something. Maybe it was import. No, that wasn't it. Anyway, you have to be better following directions here. Let me see if I can bring that back up, the instructions. I always like to work through this with you. NinjaTrader 8 Templates Chart. Templates. There we go. And then Chart. And then my RockBot template. I would just right click and paste it. It's an XML document. You just paste it right in there. And mine's already there. And then you're done. You got it. That looks pretty good.
Tradometer NQ over bot.
Up here, instead of the MES, let's throw in a stock, a pretty moving stock. Let's put in Apple, AAPL. We're going to try a couple different things on this. All right, so Apple here. Ooh, look at that. it's running the, remember what we're running here? We're running the quad rotation. I didn't even think about checking the stocks. Not that that's a big scalp, but let's take a look here. You know, 50 cents. Yeah, 50 cents. But hey, you know, not bad to see that a big stock like Apple definitely has some good, you know, technicals that play out really well. Look at that. Beautiful quad rotations. Nice pullback, bottom being made. Quad rotation. A little further upside. We're just looking for a little upside. Again, it's more of a scalping tool. I'm looking on the 1 minute time frame here. Let's move it to the 5 minute. Now I could run these on anything. Here's the 5 minute now. Now it's going to still run that criteria, but it's not going to. Let's take a look here. See, this is embedded down here, and it's taking such a long time. I like the 1 minute. There you go. So let's also put the 1 minute divergence on here. Now that we're dealing with a stock, we have a stock there, so we can't use ticks here anymore. And it's not like I could switch over. I could do that down the road. But right now, if you want to use it as stocks, then consider every tick a penny. Every tick is a penny. So if you wanted 50 cents, that would be 50 pennies. If you wanted $1.50, it would be 150. All right, so we're going to put our first target 50 cents. Second target, $1. And then you want to do the same thing. I mean, we have the signal bar low. We'll keep that as it is. But you want to start starting the trailing start. I usually do it after the first target. We could start that earlier. But let's just see what this shows up with. We'll put a 50 on there for a trailing stop, and we'll put a 50 on there for a trailing stop. And this is how many shares you're going to have. So let's say we're going to 200 shares, and at a first target we're going to take 100 off. And the second target we're going to take 100 off. All right, let's see what happens. This is just a big experiment right now. So I have it on Apple. Here we go. Apply. I think I had it on. Wait, maybe I don't have it on. What was I putting it on? There we go. Ooh, ooh, that looks so nice. So you had a quad rotation and divergence long on Apple here. We had a divergence long here. It did pop here pretty good, but then kind of drifted, and this one had a break even stop out, I think, or at least no, actually it was a candle stop out. Never got our 50 cents on that. And again, it could probably got 30 cents, probably. That's the issue we're dealing with, the range bound markets. I don't have a short on there, but that was a good divergence there. Now let's just move it to the 5 minute here for a second. Everything seems to have that same look to it when the news came in. The 1 minute's where it's at. All right, so you could do anything with that. You could put your stocks in there. You could put the SPY in there, SPY. You're probably going to get the same signals. What happened to my charts here? I guess something's wrong with the SPY chart. It's not reading it properly. One of the things that I was so surprised at that it works so good on is Bitcoin. So you could put a Bitcoin in here, and I have it right here. I have to make sure you have a feed for Bitcoin, so I'm gonna have to go to a different feed. I gotta add my Coinbase account to this. I can do that in this. It'll take me a second. Oh, it did activate. All right, so there it is, activated. And as you can see, there's the 1 minute time frame. Again, Bitcoin is 27,000, so of course this is crazy looking. But this is, look at the parameters I'm going to use here on Bitcoin. We're going to go to our parameters there. Now we have to understand that Bitcoin's, again, that's not ticks. And our targets and stuff off the 5 minute can average up to $100 to $300. That's where we like to play in that range, on a 5 minute divergence signal. I like to play between $100 and $300 move. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Let me get some ice here, and then we'll start on this. Let me get some ice. Oh, yeah. I'm running low on Coke. All right. Sorry for that. So a penny a move. So I usually look for $100 to $300. $100 to $300. So we adjust that to be 10,000 to 30,000 pennies or ticks, or however you want to do it. So let's take a look here. We're going to put down 10,000. That would be $100. How many? Again, this is not set up for Bitcoin, but you could still do Bitcoin on here. How many Bitcoin? That's a problem. It has lots and stuff, but what it is. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be 10, 5, 1 Bitcoin. I want to get the alerts on this. This is what I like, is the alerts on it. It's not meant to trade it. It's not able to break down into. Well, you might even be able to. I bet I could use decimals in this. I didn't even think about it. All right, so let's just say, for argument's sake, I always use 5. So we're going to go to lot. We're going to do 5. So we're going to take 3 off here, and then we're going to move this. Take profit ticks. How many ticks for the second profit? Let's move it to 20. So $200, 20,000, and we're going to take 1 off here. Oh no, we'll take 1 off there. That's 4. We don't have to worry about the stop loss ticks. We're going to use this, so you can leave that.
Tradometer NQ over bot.
And then we're going to start our trailing stop at 1,000, which is 100. So that means the break even trailing stop. Once the first profit is hit, it'll come into a break even trade. And we'll just do one tick at a time here. All right, so everything should be set up. I want to put this on Bitcoin, Sim Crypto, that you set up yourself to do testing and stuff. And we're going to put this on the 5-minute time frame. Where's the 5-minute here? It's not on. Well, we're going to have to switch that when we turn it on. All right, let's take a look at this. Let's go into Sim Crypto mode. All right, here it is.
Order submitted. Order filled.
What?
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
Everyone live in front of us. A live alert here. We just ran up on a crypto alert. Crazy. Very rare do we see one live in the wild. Usually it happens late at night when I'm sleeping. All right, well, anyway, you could see the, wait a second. 5, divergence. No, this doesn't look, what are we on here? Bitcoin, 1 minute. Oh, we're looking at the 5-minute, right? Let's see.
Order canceled. Order canceled. Order canceled.
What the hell is happening today? $235.50. Let me see what's going on here.
Tradometer
Right.
NQ over bot.
I figured it out. I had, instead of 10,000, which represents a 100, which makes this a trailing stop, I had it set at 1,000, which represents $10. So that happens in a sneeze. So none of these trades were just stopping out. I was wondering what the hell's going on. And I've just found out. So let's apply that. Now see. There. Now we're going to move that. Still looks a little odd here. 255. Yeah, 155. All right, there it is. I think it's starting to work now.
Order submitted. Order filled.
Why is that like this?
Order submitted. Order
I'm
filled.
going to restart that. This had break, no, 33, 203. That's pretty close. It just kind of slammed down there. Had a little divergence, then it got slammed down. The market got slammed twice here. Finally got oversold. That divergence really paid off after the oversold level. Again, this is just looking at the Bitcoin here on the 5-minute. Sometimes I keep this running on the RockBot too, but I think it gives great signals. And I bet you all these. Let's just try something. Again, these seem to be good hyperscalp areas, because the only thing that's wrong with these areas, if we look at it, is that they didn't get far enough. They all had bounces here. This was a beautiful bounce. This was a beautiful bounce. This was a beautiful bounce. This was a beautiful bounce here. This was even a little, kind of a little bounce. Of course, this was a beautiful move here. Most of these here give us enough bounces, but the problem is you're not getting the full, the market here selling off. So if you actually turn this into more of a, hate to call it the hyper scalper. Let's just break this down one more time. I'm just curious. That's looking for $100. Let's move it to 5,000. $5,000. And then 10,000. 3, 1, 1. All right, let's see what that gives us. And I could actually run the statistics on this too. I'm just curious. So I still didn't have enough room for that.
Tradometer ES overbought. Tradometer YM overbought.
And here we only have about 4 minutes to go before the post market closes. Let's take a look at what's running after hours here, or what maybe was running after hours as we approach 8 o'clock. Unique fabricating here pushed back up a little. That actually had a little follow through. EEIQ here, write that one down. Epic Quest Educational for tomorrow, 2:05. I like to circle these. Proof that I was here working so late. Nice one too. Nova. Nova's kind of interesting. That one from 50 cents to 70 cents and chopping around under the radar. Little volume. Lipo sign. Calbar. Auth ID here. What do I use that for? I use that for something. Don't we use this auth ID for something? I want to circle that. That looks very familiar. All right, well, nothing there. I did get into one today. I had an alert. It popped up an alert. I just jumped in. I don't know where it's going to go. But the reason I got in is because it's one of these IPO type of breakouts. So big volume. Got the breakout. $12.71. I'm at $12.71, so we're up about 50 cents. I like to see where this thing goes. Cool somebody. It's just I pointed out a lot of these stocks recently and I put the alerts out there for them. So if we get the alert, I'm going to be the first one to give it to you. So we got into this today. I want to give one shout out in the room. Anybody have any more questions on the RockBot or want me to go over anything? If not, I want to just stop the video here, start to get that set up here. I want to continue to do some research though, and I want to continue to hang here with you. But I don't want to stop if anybody doesn't have any questions or anything. But I'm always here, so even if you don't get to the questions today, get to them tomorrow or next Tuesday, or email me. You know, most people are sleeping already. 8 o'clock. No one's as dedicated. All right, over and out. I'm going to turn off the video here, but I will continue to answer your questions if you have any. Alan, iron action at yahoo.com. Oh, at Yahoo, not two, not a 2 in front of Yahoo. That's not right. Iron action at yahoo.com. That's better.